students, this lesson is about a visit to Cambridge. Okay, yes, and I draw your attention to a very sensitive area, that is disability, or what is commonly known today as differently able. So, what do you think it is to be differently able? Probably you will say a person with a paralyzed body, a missing sense organ, or a paralyzed brain is differently abled. But let me tell you, these people possess a unique set of abilities and perspectives. Everybody has ability and everybody matters. It's all about acknowledging. In oftentimes differently abled people see what a normal person can't, hear what we can't, and think what we can't. This makes their ability different, not inferior, not superior, just different. Many differently able people are known to flourish and rejoice in life with the right opportunity, support, and love. And in this session, we will read about such differently able people who became successful and renowned. And before I tell you more about them, here is an information about our author of the story. Theodas Ganga was author of our story is Theodas Hanga, and he was born in 1960. He is a writer and an actor. He has written a novel, Trying to Grow, which is a semi-autobiographical novel set in India. He also wrote a travel book, Heaven Born on Wheels, about his experience in the United Kingdom. Now, the story that we are about to discuss is A Visit to Cambridge. It is a story about the meeting between two extraordinary people. And what is special in this is both of them are differently abled. So, the author Theodas Ganga was born with brittle bones. That is, it is a condition where bones tend to break easily. Okay, so he moves around in a wheelchair. And as you know, Stephen Hawking was one of the greatest scientists of our time. And he suffered from a form of paralysis that confined him to a wheelchair and allowed him to speak only by punching buttons on a computer. So, when they met, these two great men exchanged their thoughts on what it meant to lead a life in a wheelchair and on how the so-called normal people reacted to that, the differently abled. So, A Visit to Cambridge. In this, he shared one of his experience in England. The author described his visit to Cambridge University. There he met Stephen Hawking, who was a British professor, scientist and author, who performed a groundbreaking work in physics and cosmology, and whose book had to make science accessible to everyone. Hawking told him that he found it funny when people patronized him. And he also added that he was not left without any choice other than being brave and accept his condition. He accepted his condition with his brave, and the author found Stephen Hawking to be one of the most beautiful men in the world. So, both of these are differently abled persons, right? And in an interview, Hawking gave a bit of advice to the differently able people to concentrate on what is good enough, and they can surely succeed in life. This chapter is an experience in England. Cambridge University always a great one, but after an interview with this Stephen Hawking, it became more appealing to him. During the walk tour, there he met a Stephen Hawking, was an astrophysics and a disabled person. He was a successor of Isaac Newton and has his chair at the physics department at Cambridge University. Okay, dears? Understood? He was the author of the book Prehistory of Time, the biggest bookseller of his time. After tour over, he called Stephen Hawking's house. Author called Stephen Hawking's. His assistant attended the phone call and told him that he has come all the way from India. He was in a wheelchair. He was indicated that he wished to write a book based on his travels in England. Okay, and also he desired to meet Stephen Hawking, the assistant. So the assistant fixed the time from 3:30 to 4 for meeting. Okay, the author was surprised to see the machine was supporting his body. Okay, he composed himself. This author composed himself to ask questions. Hawkins replied that he had no other options to be brave. Already I mentioned he was very brave, and he said that his people patronized him. And so that this author asked questions, did he feel annoyed people disturbing him? For that he replied, the Stephen Hawking replied yes with a smile. In the interview, Hawkins appears to be the most beautiful man in the world. The author also questions him that it is due to the disability. Is that due to the disability? Like that author asked. Hawkins not able to see humility and kindness in the world. Hawkins agreed this. The interview came to an end with a piece of advice for the disabled people. Okay, they said that they need to focus on the good in them and not in the disability. So people should focus on the good thing. They should not become over enthusiastic and should do only which they are good, then only they attain successful. And after this, Hawkins went into his garden. The author felt that journey is inspiring and as well as successful. So with this meeting, this author became very happy and he came to know all about the Stephen Hawking. So what can be the conclusion? The physical handicap cannot be or impede to achieve something great. It's the ability of the mind. Okay, that is more important. If you want to achieve anything, ability in mind is more important, and thus we shall focus on that only. So children, what do you think? What is the moral of this story? The whole story surrounds around the concept of leading a better life. Okay, the author speaks how one must keep their focus on the good and excellent. Okay, and talent is very important one, and no, there is no we don't want to think about our disabilities. We have to concentrate on our mind power. Okay, and the story is very inspiration story. I hope this summary help you to understand the chapter well. I gave you a short summary. Please go through this lesson. Keep reading, then you will get more points to understand. Okay, if you have any doubts, please ask me. Okay, dears, I hope you all understood this one. And thank you. Have a nice day, dears. Thank you.